My name is Jacob Seabest. I am a junior at Youngstown State University. I'm going to be discussing today an article written by E.J. Fagan. E.J. Fagan wrote Marching Orders, U.S. Party Platforms and Legislative Agenda Setting from 1948 to 2014. This article was published in Political Research Quarterly. I'm going to be discussing this today because we are going to be looking at the communication theory of agenda setting, and we are going to summarize this journal article and pick out some of the positives and then some of the negatives about it. First, to summarize, we're going to be talking about what E.J. Fagan was able to find in his studies. He was able to graph out and chart the differences between what is said by politicians when they're promising things during the election season. They run on party platforms, and these are how voters get their promises. These is how voters see what the president or whatever the politician is planning on doing. And then he was able to chart what was actually followed through with. So, roll call in Congress, he talked about the importance of it, the agenda setting when it was discussed, if there's actually policy being put into place because of it, and he was able to chart out the difference. And then we were able to see how these things played into it. So, if you take a category such as transportation is not talked about that often with party platforms, and when you're trying to attract voters, it's not something communicated that much to them. But that's something that gets brought up a lot during Congress and during roll call, and it's something that takes precedent, even though it may not be communicated that greatly to the party platform. And then if you take something much more popular, such as uh, international affairs and foreign policy, we can see that they're talked about in a different sense. So that is something attractive. So it's talked about in the party platform, but the policy doesn't necessarily line up with how much it's talked about. So it's all the communication of trying to attract voters, even though that doesn't line up with how important things actually are. One of the benefits of this study is that Fagan is truly coming in with no bias. He has no financial ties to this. It wasn't funded by someone specifically. So that's really important for trying to keep a fair, transparent study, and I commend him on that. And then the second thing is how he may fall short. And I wish this study was broken up, first of all, into parties. So we can have a Democrat section, a Republican section, independent section, just to see how different politicians line up with what the platform they're taking, whether it's Democrat, Republican, or independent. It's interesting to see what one would follow up with that if you're already looking at the policies of the party platforms. And then a second thing would be to break it up into your House of Representative elections and policies, your Senate elections and policies, and then from the presidential standpoint with presidential elections and policies. All in all, it was a very good article. And yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to comment or message me. Thank you very much.